Ladies and gentlemen, your future MP of Segambut, Puan Hana Yeoh. Dipersilakan, Puan Hana Yeoh.
Thank you. I went for a walk today in Bukit Kiara. I can understand why you love it so much.
Yes.
I know there are many people who are so passionate about this. Now the residents have given me information and documents to study about the sale. You have Bukit Kiara and you have Rimba Kiara that has been sold to a developer. Bukit Kiara first. Let me talk about Bukit Kiara. Bukit Kiara, the cabinet back in 2007, more than 10 years ago, have agreed to gazette Bukit Kiara. But until today, it has remained ungazetted. And if you don't send in a new government to Putrajaya, I am afraid that Bukit Kiara can go missing. Because anything placed in the hands of crook will go missing. And therefore, this is my pledge to you, people of Segambut. If I am given the mandate to represent you in Parliament, I will fight for Bukit Kiara to be gazetted. I believe my experience dealing with Taman Subang Ria in Subang Jaya, my experience in the State Assembly of Selangor, where we saw Selangor gazetting, they passed an enactment. Selangor passed an enactment to say 30% of the land in Selangor, forests, must never be touched. Today we are more than 31% in Selangor. And we say that before you de-gazette any forest, a public hearing must be held. And only if it's for public use can forests be de-gazetted. So there are very strict laws that we have passed in Selangor to ensure we preserve forests. The last bill that we passed just before we dissolved the House was to ensure that there is severe fine for anyone who does illegal loggings across Selangor. We have done that in Selangor. Let me now touch on Taman Rimba Kiara. Taman Rimba Kiara has been used by Tengku Adnan in the name of giving housing to the poor. Tengku Adnan said this. Tengku Adnan said he wants to build proper housing for the long houses in Taman Tun. I visited the long houses. I went from door to door. There are about 400 residents there, about 100 units of long houses. Now, if you were to build every person a new house on the existing land without touching Taman Rimba Kiara, just remove the long houses and build them new housing, it would cost about 15 million ringgit. How do I know this? The residents, the engineers, the architects in Taman Tun have on their own initiative prepared a drawing and they submitted to DBKL and they say it can be done. 15 million is nothing to Barisan National Government. They can do concerts with 10 million ringgit. What is 15 million? 15 million, it is absolutely possible to give everyone a brand new house without touching Taman Rimba Kiara. But they use housing as an excuse for the stealing of land. Now, when I read the documents, I actually felt sick in the stomach. Let me tell you why. The Land Office under Jabatan Perdana Menteri gave the land, Taman Rimba Kiara. Suddenly there's a title for Taman Rimba Kiara, given to Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan for 60 million ringgit. 60 million ringgit, Taman Rimba Kiara. Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan paid the premium. Who chairs Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan? Tengku Adnan. So, the Prime Minister's Department, Land Office, gave the title to Tengku Adnan's body, Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan, for 60 million. Yayasan Wilayah Persekutuan then, follow me, sold this land to a private developer for 160 million ringgit. There's 100 million profit, and maybe they say it's used for public housing, but you don't need to sell it. The residents have done the initiative. They say with 15 million, which the government can afford, on your own you could have built the houses. Why did you part the title? Why did you give it to a private developer for 160 million ringgit? And today they are developing 8 blocks of service apartment project worth 3 billion ringgit on that land. The residents have taken this issue to court. And many people ask, what is my stand on this? I say I will review it tonight. But just before tonight, a columnist in Malay Mail asked me about my stand. I say I will address this tonight. But despite my assurance that I will be addressing the issue tonight, this columnist went ahead to interview my PPP, Barisan Nasional's candidate, his stand on this issue, and went ahead to release this column endorsing my PPP's candidate, Barisan Nasional's candidate, as the choice of this columnist to be the Member of Parliament for Segambut. Now, let us not be misled. This candidate who's running against me here is not any ordinary Barisan Nasional candidate. Datuk Loga, who is running on a Barisan Nasional ticket, is the Deputy Federal Territory Minister. He is the assistant to Tengku Adnan. He knew full well all the issues involving this, and he cannot wash his hands. In the interview, he kept saying, I will speak up within my circle. We don't need that anymore. There's no need for him to speak up anymore, because on the 9th of May, we will put an end to this saga. And this is what I'll do if elected as the Member of Parliament for Segambut, for Taman Rimba Kiara. For Taman Rimba Kiara, I will stand with the Residents Association and their lawyers to facilitate whatever that is needed for them to win their case in court. It is before the court now. There is only one party that has the power under the law to amend or to revoke the development order that has been issued for this development, and that is DBKL. So we must not just win for the seat of Segambut, we must ensure that we go to Putrajaya and fix the problem with DBKL. The DBKL, taking instruction from the Federal Territory Minister, must be accountable to the people of Kuala Lumpur. The leadership under Tengku Adnan has seen about 60 plots of land sold in Kuala Lumpur. Only half of them have been used for public housing. This is revealed by the Member of Parliament. They asked in Parliament, and that's the answer they got. Now we have to put an end to Tengku Adnan's rule in federal territory. It is not difficult. If we cannot defeat him at the seat of Putrajaya, that parliamentary seat, we have to ensure that Barisan Nasional loses federal power, and then we put an end to Tengku Adnan. This is the second thing I want to do if elected. I want to put on record and ask MACC to open file on Tengku Adnan's administration. The sale of public land in Kuala Lumpur cannot be forgotten just like that. Every paper has to be scrutinized, because potentially, I think it can be criminal in there. To part ways, to sell parks, disguising it as building public housing. And I think we cannot let this go. So this is what I want to do, to ensure files are open in MACC for the sale of these public lands across Kuala Lumpur. The third thing I want to do as your Member of Parliament for Segambut, if elected, I want to do my very best to protect the rest of the parks across Segambut. We need to leave behind a legacy, an inheritance for the younger generation. Barisan Nasional has never been faithful with Green Lungs. And you cannot give them another 5 years in Kuala Lumpur because your remaining parks can go missing. So please, your option that is before you, apart from Hannah Yeoh, is a candidate from PAS and the former Deputy Federal Territory Minister. Today he goes around with a manifesto telling people to vote for him. But he has been in power here for 5 years with executive power as the Deputy Federal Territory Minister. You should not produce a manifesto. You should be producing a report card to the people of Segambut. What have you done for the people of Segambut in the last 5 years? Why talk about a manifesto now? As the former speaker, I produced report card. What have I done with the powers that have been given to us? These are the reforms we have done. I don't go before them and say, this is my manifesto. If you give me a chance, this is how I'll reform the house. No, you give an answer to the people. What have you done the last 5 years? So don't be fooled, people of Segambut. Don't be fooled. We have to put an end to this. So you have heard it from me, Bukit Kiara, Taman Rimba Kiara, and the rest of the Green Lungs in Segambut.